Hi everyone, got a very interesting story for you today. We have a Lucio Fulci movie that is pre-blood and pre-everything else. It deals with the emerging giallo um, subgenre, but at the same time there's no blood and everything like I just mentioned. This one is actually called Perversion Story, aka One on Top of the Other from 1969. In which it follows a kind of a self-centered doctor who has his wife, which she has asthma. However, the asthma she eventually passes on due to an asthma attack, and he starts to have an starts to have an affair with an attractive woman. And they're going out on dates and stuff like that, and it's like it all looks fine, but then eventually he decides saying, oh, I'm also going to go to a strip club and I'm going to meet a person there whose name is Monica, who commands a motorcycle very well, I must admit. However, she looks astonishingly like the wife, Susan. And what is possibly going on here? Who knows? What is this tale of intrigue, the deception, the lies, the $1 million insurance policy that our hero could potentially get. But then he gets arrested. And what is going on? Well, it turns out that George, the doctor, has a brother named Henry, and Henry and Susan framed him for the $1 million, and they decided, oh, so yeah, you're going to you're pretty much taking the fall for us, and we're going to be stinking rich the rest of our lives. Yeah. True scumbags right there. Can't deny that. So, ultimately, he does get arrested because they found his fingerprints on, I think, a piece of paper or something like that. I don't know. Just as he's about to be executed, lo and behold, they get it turns out that the person he was having an affair with, a guy named Benjamin, who was seen earlier in the film, was got revenge and shot both Susan slash Monica and Henry. So yeah, truly divine justice right there. And of course, our hero is free, and everyone's like, yes. And we get a news reporter detailing everything at the end, which I liked this movie. This is definitely during the times of, I don't want to say anything sexploitative, but more when things were starting to get a little bit more looser, especially in Italy. Here in the States, yeah. Yes and no. And, it was fine. This is one where things happen quickly and the performances are good. Especially how especially how we have the actress whose name I don't remember their names, is able to at once play kind of a bickering woman, and then at the same time reverse it and take on stage where she can be both commanding on stage, and then lo and behold, she actually said that she's shy, which I'm just like, okay, then I was not expecting that. And of course, there's the Dr. George, who has kind of a self-centered, which he easily, which he admits because he does care about his clinic more. So yeah, they dominate the screen. There's the brother. Of course, there's the person that George is having an affair with. She's got the look about her, be able to command it and be like, okay, like, Of course, they're speaking in it. Of course, I watched this in the Italian version, so I'm not sure how it'd be like, how it would sound translated, because, I'm a purist, I have to have it in the original. And yeah, obviously, the way how they bring the character, it's like you feel for the guy, because he's a flawed man, but then when he gets truly off, I mean, these people are kind of awful in a way. I mean, really, the only one is Jane, who's having an affair. She's like the only, I guess, likable person. You know, she does have a good haircut. So yeah, obviously the performances strike out. You know, what with everything I mentioned, the speeches and taking command of the stage, and so yeah, definitely the plot is pretty good. The plot is nice as it deals, like, you know, with deception and sex and illicit affairs and everything else. And this, yes, I don't know, it works out very well for me. I just liked all the twists and turns and everything that, you know, the giallo genre is famous for. Of what, like, who is the mastermind? Who's the one that is setting him up? Like, what's the reason? What's the motive? And of course, the eventual countdown for the poor man's execution via the gas chamber in the San Quentin prison. And jeez, man, you just feel like, dang. It's like you can tell that he's accepting it, but at the same time, you kind of just want something to happen, which he just gets free, and you're hoping, please, can anything happen? So that's just like the last, I don't know, 20 minutes or so are just framed really well. Yeah, I just think that it works. It just works. This movie, you know, it's not for everyone. Obviously, there's going to be some people who are just don't like the characters, and I can definitely see why. They are, like I said, really not that good. And the sex scenes, there are definite sex scenes. It's not exploitative. It fits in with the motif and the themes of the movie of the, you know, the infidelity and everything. And it's done. Yeah, it is done surprisingly artistic, but this is rated R for a reason. And you know, he's like, you just look at it, and you're like, geez. So ultimately, it feels is also a what I got from it was a precursor to, what was that, Body of Evidence and Basic Instinct. I am aware of Basic Instinct. I've never heard of Body of Evidence, but you know, it's like this movie just felt, it feels smart. It feels smart, and it doesn't like be too smart or pretentious for its own good. It feels low key, but everything feels executed well. It's like this was a transitional. This was a transitional movie for me in the sense of like how at the same time Fulci was doing comedies, which I don't know of any of his comedies prior to this, and he was starting to dabble a little bit in giallo. So it's like, okay, he spent like a year and a half actually writing everything because he wanted everything just to happen, unfold internally without having any of the police um, have any involvement too much. And that's what I feel like it did. He went on later years in his life and saying, yeah, this was definitely my personal, one of my favorite stories, if not his favorite, which I like that. You know, this was definitely a nice, uh, feels just, yeah, I don't know, it just feels like it's mature. You know, this would be, it has some of the some of the things going out, you know, like some nudity and some twists and turns and everything else. And you know, this was like right before the bird with the crystal plumage, and this would be done. This was before he started doing lizard and women's skin and Enigma and everything, all the other stuff he was famous for. So yeah, I can say I definitely like this. Definitely some of the standout scenes were the sex scenes, and definitely at the San Quentin prison, which felt very, I don't want to say sad, but melancholic. So, you know, it just, I like this movie, and it's definitely one I would watch again because of the good characters, the good performances, the plot that feels natural. I don't know. I mean, just like everything just clicked. Yeah, I mean, you can even tell it's especially she looks like Barbara Eden from I Dream of Jeannie. There's a reference. You probably never. There's a reference that I would never say, but lo and behold. But yeah, definitely Severin Film would release. There's definitely a Severin Film DVD release This is 97. This 97-minute version. There's a more complete version, but for this cut, they excise some expository dialogue. So yeah, if you ever get the chance, you want to see something smart, sleek, sexy, check out Perversion Story, aka One on Top of the Other.